Here we go. The final turn onto the main straight. Eichmann's on the inside. Slater on the outside. Ready? Let's race it, Karting Genk in the junior battle. Up to the first corner. Good start from Eichmann. Slater holding his car to the outside line. They go through the hairpin. They've both drifted wide. Slater's on the grass nearly as into the lead goes Ian Eichmann's. And Akshay Bora has leapt up into second position. That is one of the other Ricky Flynn Motorsport karts that's come up to third. That's Dion Gouda. So Gouda in third position. Slater has held on for P4. And as the field works its way through turn 5 for the first time, they've just about got through cleanly. But it's Eichmann's in front. Bora in second, Gouda is third, Slater is fourth.
Yeah, okay,
oh, we've had a big pile-up. Sorry, Guillaume. There's been all sorts of karts all over the place in turn 6 as they've all come together. The 220 out. And I'm afraid that is Jan Puchu. He has tangled in there, I think, with the 225 of Matthias Ferreira. So he's gone. And it looks as though we've had Jan Pisadowski and Andres Cardenas go as well. Already, Eichmann's is defending on the exit of the final turn at the end of the first lap. So already there's carnage and drama side by side. Slater trying to get through on his teammate. Hasn't been able to make it stick at the moment. And they all launch on the inside of Eichmann's. 1, 2, 3 of them all get by. Eichmann's down to fourth. Bora leads from Gouda and Slater.
Wow, what a ton of event indeed. Jan Eichmann's leading just one lap so far as he just dropped from first to fourth. But what a move indeed from Akshay Bora leading the field at the opening stages of this final. I was going to say it was a pretty clean opening lap and start, but I just spoke too soon as we had a bit of a crash in turn number 6. Here they are, the drivers, as we have the teammates from Ricky Flynn Motorsport battling alongside each other. Dion Gouda, Slater goes through in the braking zone of turn number 9. Freddie Slater up a position in second. He's in the position of the chaser, of course, behind Akshay Bora, your new leader. Watch out because Ian Eichmann's might want to try to fight back. Of course, he lost quite a lot in the opening lap. He still got the pace, and actually Gouda is his first prey and victim because he goes through and side by side further back as well. A lot of battles happening as we have Rashid Daheri in a bit of a trouble with the Car Republic drivers further back. Let's try to see who that is.
Oh,
Luca Samalisto.
Eichmann's does get the move done on Gouda this time. So Eichmann's through into third position. Up to P5 has come Maxim Rem in front of Powell, Aldeheri, Samalisto, Ferreira and Enzo Deligny. Despite all of the drama we had on the opening tour. On the inside, Gouda gets back on Eichmann's. Eichmann's gets him returned on the switchback. Gouda on the grass, nearly loses the card altogether. And here comes his teammate, Maxim Rem. And then Alex Powell gets in there as well. Excellent racecraft. I was going to say the only 2 retirements we have from the race so far from that first lap melee is Jan Puchu and Joel Bergstrom. On the inside, Aldeheri now gets through on the 224 of Dion Gouda. So that's Rashid Aldeheri getting up into 6th position. A big lunge and off nearly goes Ferreira. Goodness me, manages to catch it. That is so close to a retirement for Matthias Ferreira. And now the dogs are all barging in, trying to get an opportunity on the inside. 3 wide off the final turn in the mid-pack. And this is the lead. Freddie Slater on the inside of Akshay Bora.
And we have a new leader, Slater up in a position, leading. Oh, and retirement, I'm afraid, from one of the SP Motorsport drivers.
That's Tom Bryken, the local star.
Quite unfortunately, one of the young guns from Belgium who's going to have to retire quite early at this stage of the final. Freddie Slater, the fastest on your track, 55.9, and as a result, he was able to get past Akshay Bora. Now the job is up to Bora to keep the pace with the reigning world champion. He needs to stay in his shadow, otherwise this will mean pressure from behind as well. You don't want to let Freddie Slater get away because he's so good at that, actually controlling the pace in the race. And once he's out there, there's nothing actually being able to disturb him. So watch out for Bora. He needs to keep the pressure on the young Brit, as you have Ian Eichmann's already dropping a lot of tenths of a second behind, 1.4 second in third position, young Belgian, and there he goes through. This is 2019. Further back, this is sorry, my apologies, Enzo Deligny, the young Frenchman indeed, who just went a position up, but is about to lose it again to the 224 of Dion Gouda. A bit of a trouble for Dion Gouda at his opening stages. And side by side into turn number 3 with Deligny, the Frenchman, having the upper hand. Beautifully made by Deligny, but the pressure is on because Gouda might actually line himself up on the motorway straight, and he might actually take the Car Republic driver just behind him. This is Josh Erfen, who's really getting close in the meantime.
Excellent driving from Enzo Deligny to take the place, then lose the place, then take it straight back again. I've never seen the triple switchback. That's really impressive from Enzo Deligny. Excellent job. Certainly haven't seen it here at Karting Genk into the first 2 corners anyway. A brilliant run from Freddie Slater so far, extending to half a second on Akshay Bora, enough to be slightly comfortable. Ian Eichmann's is really going to start to unlock the pace very soon. Alex Powell, the Jamaican, doing a great job in P4 at the moment, in front of Maxim Ren and Rashid Aldeheri, the United Arab Emirates youngster for Paralin, up to P6 in front of Harley Keeble. And there's going to be some great battles towards the end of this race if these drivers keep up the momentum. The hunt is on. They all want the podium. And there's only a handful of drivers now really in contention for it. But they can look after their tyres. They will work the magic. And of course, we still don't know whether the rain is going to return. If it does, it will be the quick-witted and steely-nerved drivers that will be able to deal with it best. But Rashid Al Daheri in front of Harley Keeble, who has found a second wind, and the Tony Kart youngster who ended the European Championships last year on the podium at Wackersdorf is trying to fight his way back there here in Genk.
Yeah, beautiful battle indeed. Rashid Al Daheri putting everything that he has to keep Harley Keeble just behind. This is battle for 6 and 7 respectively on your screen as Freddie Slater up the upper part of the field is trying to pull away 7/10 of a second at the moment, but Akshay Bora is having none of it and keeps the pressure on from a distance. 7/10. Watch out for Harley Keeble. On your picture, the Tony Kart driver goes through. At least he's going to try against Rashid Al Daheri, and he just made that stick beautifully outside of turn number 1. The Paralympic driver is going to have to try again, dropping a position to 7. Let's have a look. The fastest lap in Alex Powell, 55.091. In 4th place, the young Jamaican trying to decrease the gap on Ian Aikmans. Still 7/10 of a second between those two. As we have Keeble in the turn number 6, being taken in sandwich between Rashid Al Daheri and Maxim Rem, the 2018 just in front in 5th place. What a start of the race as well for Powell, actually gaining 5 position in the course of 6 laps. This is lap number 7 about to be completed, and Freddie Slater in control mode so far. Still Akshay Bora not being really led away too much. Let's wait, of course, for the second part of the race. This is where this will be interesting, even though the drivers and the machinery as well as the tires will start to get tired, of course, through the effort. So this will certainly have an impact. Further back, Al Daheri on your way. Turn number 1 is still quite not able to make his move on Harley Keeble and take the position back.
Fascinating stuff so far. Thomas Todjamanis opens up the taps and sets the fastest lap of the race here at Karting Genk. We're on lap 8 out of 19. Still 12 to go. A long way for these juniors. The heats they were doing over the course of the weekend was only 8 laps long, so this is more than double the length of a qualifying heat. They really have to keep their wits about them in these last races of the weekend. Freddie Slater, 9/10 of a second clear of Akshay Bora. Ian Aikman's actually closing in a little bit now on the Singaporean, but taking Alex Powell with him for the ride. And we've got these 3 dueling over 5th place. Maxim Rem, Harley Keeble and Rashid Al Daheri. Then it's Enzo Deligny in front of Josh Erfen. So a fabulous battle, still plenty to play for in this junior final of the European Championship opening season race at Genk in Belgium. Across to the first corner we go. And it's Rem, Keeble, Al Daheri in the battle for the midfield. And still Harley Keeble just trying to get a little bit close to Maxim Rem, hoping for the move. Probably up towards turn 5. They sweep out of 3. Through the left at 4. Is there going to be a slingshot maneuver from Keeble? I thought as much. Here he comes on the inside. Lovely maneuver. And he even shuts the door nicely. Taps his helmet. Come on, guys. Let's go after the top 4. And it looks as though this is the moment for Rashid Al Daheri. Beautiful move. Plenty of confidence and conviction on the inside of Maxim Rem.
Yeah, the door was slightly open 1 turn before in number 5 for Al Daheri to go through, but not just quite enough, and he had to wait a bit further up after the motorway straight. But he just made that stick beautifully once again. Rashid Al Daheri upper position, Keeble in 5, Al Daheri in 6 in front of Maxim Rem. Oh, what a contact!
No.
The 489.
That looks to be like one of the wild cards in the mix there. Then that is, well, the 489
That's
is Kevin
Lantinga.
Lantinga. Kevin Lantinga there battling away, unfortunately, and he's tangled with Matias Ferreira, the Brazilian, side by side. This is Julius Dinesen trying to work his way through the field as he battles with Edgar Piligov, and that also in there is the 249 of August Thelbo. So Dinesen and Thelbo work their way through the field after a good little tussle with Edgar Piligov. Down the back straight once again. Keeble from Al Daheri battling for 5th position. Rem in 7th. Erfen in 8th place. Then Deligny and Samalisto in the top 10. But this man, Freddie Slater, is keeping it lit out front.
Yes, indeed, with 1.1 second at this stage, as we're getting near the second part of the race. Through the second part, indeed, Slater in control mode. Let's have a look at the gap. Akshay Bora actually is going to come very, very soon under intense pressure from Ian Aikmans. The Cosmic driver seems to be on a better pace for the past few laps. Let's have a look at the last lap, respectively, as they come across the start-finish straight. 54.8 for Slater, 54.8 as well for Bora and Aikmans, as well as for Powell. So you can see very, very similar lap times, respectively.
Oh, and off the road nearly. How on earth did Piligov save himself from that one?
Oh my
Goodness me. He threaded the needle through the crash barriers, and that could very easily have been a big crash. He just about gets away with that one.
Yeah, that's part of the track in the last sector where we have seen quite a number of off from the drivers and contact as well. But it was quite a miracle that he didn't actually hit the barrier on that one. But good reflex indeed as part of the game, isn't it? To be able to stay on the track as much as you can.
So here's Freddie Slater out in front, and he is in command of his craft at the moment. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport youngster. He came into 2021 with one objective. I can't step up to senior yet. I'm not old enough. So 2021 is my year to command. I'm going to win the European. I'm going to win the world again. And riding the wave of confidence from Portimao in the World Championship 6 months ago, he is in the form of his life out front, doing a sensational job. He just always seems to find a little bit more. There always seems to be a little bit left on the table after his previous race, which he finds and gets more speed up. Nice move on the inside there from one of the VDKs. That is the 239 getting the move. That's Augustin Bernier making his move on Edgar Piligov, who's just tumbling backwards through the field as a result of that earlier off. So unfortunate from his point of view. This is Akshay Bora, and he's losing ground to Ian Eichmans. They may not be able to get a winner from Belgium on home soil because Slater is a little bit far away now, but there might just be a chance for Eichmans to get one over on the young man from Singapore up the road, Akshay Bora.
Yes, indeed. And looking at the sky, actually, we might be lucky on this one and not have rain until the end of this race. So let's cross fingers, especially for the young drivers, because they don't want to find themselves sliding through on a wet track with slick tires. We've seen that happening before, and you might have seen that as well on social media. This wasn't pretty to see, but hopefully and luckily nobody was injured in that one. But it seems to be that the weather is stable, and the battle is for second place. Oh, a good move for the back from the 285 from Cosmic. This is on the straight, the 285 for the back. Let's see who that is. Arthur Poulain, indeed, a young Frenchman who just made that stick. The 221 we're here with, this is, let's have a look where this is in the classification, the 221.
It's just towards the back of the field,
yes,
unfortunately.
indeed. We're giving you a bit of a glimpse about what's happening further back in the field as well, because as it stands, Freddie Slater is way away from the rest of the field, 1.7 seconds almost. Akshay Bora right here, Ian Eichmans, the battle for second place is heating up right now. The young Belgian sees the possibility for stepping at least on the second step of the podium in this race. This is his home race. Ian Eichmans has been really putting on the effort and progressing through the ranks for the past few seasons as well, from the international mini class up to the juniors, and doing wonders with the Cosmic chassis. So let's see if the couple of tenths of a second he will be able to decrease them and keep also this young man at bay behind him. Alex Powell doing a good job as well. He's getting close. He sees that Akshay Bora might not actually finish that race as comfortable as he started it. There might be an open door coming up for those two.
5.5 laps to go in the European Junior Final at Karting Genk in 2021's European Championship for the juniors. And this is a very exciting run for them. The first round of 4, don't forget. So this is just the beginning of a sensational 2021 season. Alex Powell really starting to get after Eichmans. Eichmans really starting to close up on Akshay Bora now. Freddie Slater's race to lose up front, but it's the battle for second place that's really going to start to heat up now. Akshay Bora being threatened by Ian Eichmans and Alex Powell. He can't get close enough on this lap. He'll have to make the big lunge on the next one. As Enzo Deligny, by the way, has made the move past Maxime Rem, as has Luca Samalisto. So Samalisto and Deligny now up into 8th and 9th. Maxime Rem down to 10th. And there's a great little tussle building here. Akshay Bora trying to hold his nerve down the back straight. He knows he's got pressure from Eichmans and Powell. He cannot afford to break his rhythm or his concentration. He's just got to keep it planted in the Kart Republic out front.
There's going to be a hectic end of the race, that's for sure. For Akshay Bora, who was the fastest in Friday's qualifying, was able to make it through to the heat with 1 win. But this time around, it's going to be about being defensive all throughout the way until the checkered flag. But Ian Eichmans and Alex Powell having both a very good pace. They see, they pray, they want to actually get past as quickly as possible, because time is about to be running out for any of those two. And we have further back a bit of a gap indeed. Arle Kiebel is sitting in 5th place with the pressure of Rachel Daheri just behind. There's just 4 tenths of a second between those two. Then the rest of the top 10, we have Josh Erfen, Luca Samalisto and Enzo Deligny, as well as Maxime Rem. And Adrian Malero is about to knock on the door of the top 10 with 10 positions gained up into 12. 13 positions gained for Jaden Teen, and Julius Dinesen doing a fantastic job as well with 16 positions recovered throughout this race. So you can see that because of the tricky conditions that we had yesterday, some of the fastest drivers in the field didn't have the luck with the results. They had to start from further back on the field, but with new tires on, you can feel the pace from some of them, and maybe better things could have been achieved without this luck, this bad luck, shall I say, yesterday's in the heats.
3 laps to go for the race leader, Freddie Slater, as he crosses the line this time by 16 laps completed. And he's got Akshay Bora over 2 seconds behind him now. Exceptional, exemplary drive from Freddie Slater out front, not succumbing to the pressure, just putting his foot down and getting away. And now Akshay Bora is under massive pressure from Ian Eichmans, just 4 tenths behind him. And 4 tenths behind him now is Alex Powell. Freddie Slater still unlocking those fastest laps at 54.68. He is just absolutely in charge of things out front. Amazing work from Freddie Slater. He's building a great strength of inner character and belief now here on the circuit, and it's only a matter of time before the big boys of motorsport are going to be giving this guy an opportunity. Great to see him do such a good job out there. Here is Luca Samalisto. He's trying to shake off Enzo Deligny at the moment. Maxime Verbruge now sets the fastest lap of the race, a 54.659 for him, as Maxime Verbruge is trying to work his way back up through the field after not having a great start. He's 21st, and there could have been so much more from the Frenchman. He could have made the podium this weekend very easily.
Yes, indeed, with the pace that he showed throughout the race. Watch out, because we might see a move coming up very, very quickly. Ian Eichmans in third, but for how long, actually? Because Akshay Bora is shutting all the doors at every corner, almost clipping every apex, because the slightest of room left could be enough for Ian Eichmans to find the door and really kick it with his front feet. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Watch out, because Powell is very much observing what's happening in front of him, but he could well take advantage of the battle going on between his 2 rivals in front. And if there's an open door, Alex Powell has certainly what it takes to dive through it and take the position, not 1 but 2 positions. So it's going to be a 3-driver battle, but time is running out. The checkered flag is getting near for Freddie Slater. Incredible pace, as you said, from Freddie, who could have actually allowed himself to really pace it down a little bit and take no more risk, but he kept on piling up those qualifying laps to demonstrate to everybody that this is his weekend, and as you said, this might be his year indeed. Final lap for Freddie Slater.
He has been in the kart at the right places at the right time all the way through the weekend. Even when he wasn't winning, he was keeping himself towards the sharp end of the field. And even at the start, when he was on the outside line and being held to ransom on the first corner, he kept himself very strong and very much in contention all the way through those first few corners. He didn't make silly mistakes. He didn't get into trouble. He just kept his nerve and has been able to build on that ever since lap 3, and has just charged his way forward out in front of the rest of the field. The reigning world champion is on the way to become the European champion, to claim both major prizes. It's early days, but it's certainly looking ominous for the rest of the field. Freddie Slater out of the final turn, and he does it! Freddie Slater opens his 2021 account with victory in karting Genk. Brilliant race from Freddie Slater. He wins in the European Championship opener. Excellent race in front of Akshay Bora and the hometown hero, Ian Eichmans, in 3rd position. Excellent racing from Bora and Eichmans to hold their nerve at the end. But Freddie Slater is back. 6 months have passed since he won the World Championship, but he's lost none of his speed and none of his motivation. He's back.
Oh, and quite unfortunate trouble over there for one of the Kart Republic drivers. Let's try to see who that is, as there was a bit of enough indeed after crossing the checkered flag. I'll leave you to it, Jake Sanson. We join you at the podium in just a few moments, but in the meantime, let's have a look at the classification and identify who the unlucky driver is. But Freddie Slater wins that one. This is a 2:26 very quickly that had to retire. This is Matteo De Paolo, unfortunately, the young Italian who didn't see the end of this race, quite unfortunately. Let's have a look at the classification on your screen. Freddie Slater, winner. Fantastic performance in this race. 2.4 seconds advantage on the rest of the field, led by Akshay Bora and Ian Eichmans, 2nd and 3rd. Ian Eichmans, a beautiful story for the Belgian young gun, from pole position and on the podium on home soil in front of his public. Then we have